What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Weekly Patriot Business Alliance. We are winning on Wednesdays. I'm over here with my man, Doc Brannigan, and the Honorable Casey Ashmore. I'm Jeff Skinner. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us. What's up, fellas? How'd your day go?
Oh, man. Busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest, I tell you what.
But were you productive?
Yeah. Always productive, man. I could take up this whole 1 hour series on the amount of production that was completed today with our team. Just tremendous amount of growth over the last few days. We brought on 7 new sales reps to the Doc's Roofing team. We've implemented and innovated new ideas and strategies to better serve our clientele. We're just doing really extraordinary things inside of the company right now, and super excited to be able to share that with you guys.
My favorite thing you said about that was team. I love the success. I love to see you grow. I love to see you be successful, but I love that your focus is the team. That's a winning mindset. Casey, what's up, dog? How was your day?
Man, it was great. It was great. It could have been better, but
okay.
You know what? It was such a great day. When you're able to get up and apply discipline and control into your life, get up early, write your goals down, do your workout, get your kids off to school, man, hang out with your kids for a minute,
yeah,
that little connection with your family, with your wife, whatever. When you're sleeping right, you go to bed on time, you get up on time, you're eating right. Just those little things, man, those little free throws, they just make the rest of your day so much more achievable, no matter what gets thrown at you, right? Because you've been in the gym already. You've done the reps. I've already hit 300 free throws before the first fucking thing goes wrong today. So I can hit another free throw. It's okay. And that was what today was like. It was Wednesdays for winning, and today was full of wins.
Well, I tell you what, there's a lot of people that get up early, but they don't get up fucking Casey early. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, but they also don't have that Casey bedtime either. So it's probably as soon as like the PBA's off, he's putting his house shoes on and taking a nap.
I got my sleepy hat. I got my little old man pajamas.
Gets in his yoga pants and hits a rec at 7:30 on the dot.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, I love to see businesses doing well. I love to see people thinking about the team and the mindset. I love the fact that we can reach within our alliance to see the goods and the bads, because we don't learn just from the goods. We learn from the bads too. When we have a bad day, we're able to share that with our alliance. I ran across some hiccups this week as well, but I was able to reach out to my alliance and to my trusted advisors and say, hey, what do you think about this? Am I going the right direction? Am I overthinking this and whatever? But at the end of the day, Doc nailed it. The team is where it's at. I can't even stress that enough. Whether we're military, veterans, civilians, it doesn't matter. Your team is what makes you successful. So with that being said, we're going to do a 2-part series this week and next week, and we're going to be focused on a single word, horizon. We're going to dig down into that word, and we're going to dig down into what that means and how we can apply that tonight. As the title says, is vision and innovating. So we're going to go through some things right here. Casey did a fantastic job putting together 2 weeks worth of content as far as the actual intellect that goes behind this. Doc and I are just the pretty faces. He's the brain of the operations. So, Casey, without further ado, my man, go ahead and kick us off, my.
Well, look, right now last week we had a really amazing piece of content, and Jeff, not the brains, can't figure out how to make all this interweb stuff work. Don't have all the know-how that Doc does. Not the big idea guy, but one thing I do bring to the table is that you can't fucking outwork me. You can't fucking outwork me.
Is that a challenge, Casey? Because
you know what? Hey, I'm coming for you, dog.
Like I'm all in. Let's go. I'll get up at 4:30.
Well, you got to get up a little bit earlier than that, but that's a good start. So,
okay. I'm gonna knock on your door tomorrow morning at 4 a.m.
Oh, baby! It sounds like we got a competition, and there's
what? I'm just gonna be the guy over here that says y'all can have all that shit.
Jeff will be holding the stopwatch.
Yeah.
When you warm your asses out, I'm gonna click okay. That was a tie.
You go ahead and hit that lap. You go ahead and hit that lap timer at 7:30, and I'll be taking the devil pup to school. But let's start by explaining why we're discussing this real briefly, and then I want you to get into the content.
Okay, so last week we talked about the difference between true north and magnetic north and what that means for your overall business alignment, business plan, making sure your business goals are in alignment with your core values, and then how you can drift, right? If you're always following magnetic north, if you're always adapting and you're never recalculating for what is true north, you could be off target, right, by several 100,000 nautical miles, using that analogy. Well, horizon is kind of a concept where we are looking forward, right? And one of the things that jumped out at me was, I'm gonna date myself a little bit, so go ahead and make fun, boys. The old Doors song, keep your eyes on the road and your hands upon the wheel.
Yeah.
And the deal behind that lyric and why it resonated with so many people is that you've got to be looking forward, not in the rear view, not in the wing mirrors. You cannot look in the rear view mirror for a long period of time because you will crash, right? But you have to be thinking futuristically. You have to be thinking about, and this is where, Jeff, your friendship is absolutely critical. It's monumental to what we're doing here because you really push us to find new boundaries, right? And for example, we've got I'm not going to drop anything that isn't already a public record, but Jeff took the wherewithal. You see, guys, this little Patriot Business Alliance logo. Well, Jeff had that made, right? So he had the forward thinking enough to know we're going to need something that's going to represent the global reach of the Patriot Business Alliance, right?
Yeah.
It is a Patriot and veteran-owned business alliance, right? It is not inclusive or exclusive of anyone. It is a business alliance for people who want to start, grow, develop, and build relationship. If you want to build your network, and old saying, network is net worth. And if you don't know that to be a fact, then you're in the wrong room, okay? But your network is your net worth. But the point about the logo, Jeff was forward thinking enough to know we want a logo. We need to get one.
Mm-hmm.
And then we need to take some steps to protect one. So again, that collaboration, that alliance, that push, like, guys, I know you love this idea of being on these weekly lives, and we've done it for 583 weeks in a row, right? Like, we speak the YouTube language, right? But Jeff was the one with the forward thinking, right? The logistical planning to know this is going to be bigger than us, and it needs a footprint and a step forward in the business space. And I'm going to go get it, and I'm going to use my alliance, Doc and Casey, and we're going to push that forward. So we filed a U.S. patent and trademark application on that logo over the last weekend. So the mark is in use. We are now using it for business. And, so we're going to be dealing with government bureaucracy, which is always going to remind you of Will Rogers' famous saying, thank God we don't get all the government we pay for.
That's for damn sure.
Right? ERCOT comes to mind, right? But we're going to get a damn logo one way or another. And again, the forward push. That's why you got to have an alliance, because those people will push you forward, man. It's like a coach. It's like a drill instructor. It's like the guy's like, run one more snake. Run one more snake. You're going to run 15 miles this weekend, Ashmore, or you're going to be the slowest MFer on this team. Run 15 miles this weekend. 5 on Friday, 5 on Saturday, 5 on Sunday, right? Everybody needs a push. And I promise you, you got more in you than you think you do, right? You got way more in you than you think you do. And that's why you need to have some forward-thinking alliance members. You got to have some people who are going to push you, some people who are going to anticipate what's coming at you in the future, like Jeff, the logo, right? We're going to need something. We're going to need an identity. We're going to need a footprint. And so that's what Horizon, looking towards the horizon, that Door song, right? And, I love rock and roll, but that's the deal, man. You've got to have your hands where you want to go, but you got to be looking around, head on a swivel, but looking towards your goal at all times.
I don't want to take all the credit for the logo. I'm just the guy that pushes things forward. Like, we all play a part in this alliance here. Everyone knows who we are as far as, the ideas and the organization and the content and all this stuff, whatever. But you're exactly right. Whatever we do, we've always done as a team. And that's what makes us strong, going right back to it. So, Doc, I got a question for you. What does it mean when you hear the phrase working on your business instead of in your business?
Well, I'll tell you what, when I first started, when I first became a business owner, I was so in my business. I was wearing so many different hats that I didn't work on growth. I didn't work on systems. I didn't work on processes. I was just running. I was so deeply involved with the day-to-day minutia of operating a business that I was a slave to my business, if that makes sense in a way, right? It was just a daunting task. But then when I stepped back and I took a few feet back and I decided to look at the business and said, I need to work on systems and processes. I need to work on hiring somebody to put in the business. I need to add a little bit of this here and take away some from there. I need a marketing team. I need a sales team, right? When I started to delegate, I guess, when I began to work with the business and not in the business, right? And so what that means to me is, in the beginning, you sometimes have to do both, right? In the beginning, you have to be inside the business to be able to understand what your brand is. That's how I was able to develop those core values. That's how I was able to develop my true mission and vision. And that's how I was able to see the horizon, right? That's how I was able to get clarity on where I wanted to end up. And that was because I spent time in the trenches, so to speak. So if you're a business owner out there and you think that you can just show up and have the business run on its own and not get your feet wet inside it, then you're going to be sadly mistaken with the results that you're looking for. So I think there's a time and a place that you work inside the business long enough that you understand the intricate details. But then there's also a time and a place where you need to step back and begin to delegate so that you begin to work with the business and grow your company to where you want it to get to.
Absolutely. So, that's a scary thing. I'm in my first year of having a full-time employee, and I can tell you just from my short period here that it completely changes your business mindset without any question at all, because now you go from being the head chef and dishwasher and all this stuff to only really caring about my schedule, my time, my day. Now you're looking at, okay, his time, his family, his schedule, who really likes a last minute, oh, by the way, we're going here. No one likes that. So it enables you, or it should enable you, to step back and look at the vision of your company and where you want to take that long term, because we all have small steps in our businesses where we want to reach short-term goals, right? But you should clearly have those 1, 3, 5, 10, 7, and 10 goals. And if you don't, get with somebody that already has them. Like I lean on Doc and Casey a lot for goals. I have my own personal goals, but to say, all right, fellas, you guys set a 7-year goal. Like Casey, let's give him props right now. Just hit 7 years in business this week, brother. Fucking love that. Love it. You know what I mean? I call him and say, how'd you get there? I call Doc and say, I'm at 4 years. How am I going to get to 5? And how am I going to push past that? So what we got here are 2 key actions that need to be taken to ensure your company has one eye focused on the horizon. Like Casey said, you want to be 10-2 on the driver's steering wheel, right? But you also got to be looking in your peripheral to make sure you're not overlooking obstacles. You're not overlooking, opportunities. You may be overlooking the biggest opportunity you had because you're just focused on one thing at all. So
You got
Casey,
those blinders on. You got the blinders on, and it's important that we release those and look in our peripheral.
Yeah.
I mean, because if we don't, our competition's going to be out there doing something better.
Yeah.
And so if we're not looking in the rear view, we may get so inside of ourselves with pride and ego and success and, you know what I mean, that our shit don't stink, that we, next thing we know, we got a whole nother competition coming in behind us and we didn't even see him coming because we failed to continuously be on the lookout for new and better ways to grow ourselves, our businesses, and relationships.
So Casey, take us through the 2 key actions that you have here. Go ahead and finish your thought. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
We hit those key actions.
So, you know, I'm going to talk a lot about this. There's 2 critical actions, and I'm going to talk a lot about Nokia tonight. And I don't know why Nokia jumped out. Right, Nokia, the phone. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to go back in the, you know, dirty biker time machine. One of the things that made me want to ride motorcycles around the world and get in a wreck and break my back and all that crazy shit. Ewan McGregor and Charlie Borman in 2004 bought 2 used BMW motorcycles and followed Ted Simon, this rider, this motorcycle journeyman who'd been around the world twice at that point, and they mimicked his ride. And the sponsor for that, for the first 2 of those those were rides for UNICEF. They were organized to bring attention to the poorest, most, you know, isolated places and orphanages in the world, right? And that's always kind of been a mission. It's always been a goal of those organized motorcycle rides is to raise money and awareness for these orphanages. But they were sponsored at one time. Their biggest sponsor was Nokia. And it just made me think back, man. Like, remember carrying that damn brick in your pocket? It was like, hey, what's up, dog? Hey.
It wasn't about the size of that freaking case too.
Yeah, I mean, it weighed a ton. And if you were on it for 10 minutes, you're like, oh man, I got to call you back. My hand is hot. Right? I mean, your brain would start to sizzle.
I'm getting cancer as we speak.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy, right? And Nokia went from the biggest phone manufacturer in the world to completely out of business. They make shit for Apple.
So how did they get there?
Well, and this is the 2 actions, right? You know, that we're talking about, right? Do you have a vision exciting enough to pull your company forward and grow your business? And is it compelling so that people will follow that vision, follow you? And more importantly, are you innovating? Right? And I think there's a couple things that didn't go right with Nokia. They had at one time the Model T of cell phones, right? They literally had the Model T of cell phones. Why did Ford survive? They're 120 something years old at this point, and Nokia didn't even last 20 years, right? They now make shit for Apple and Samsung. They make components. And they went from one of the biggest employers in Europe to, yay, we got a manufacturing plant for some Galaxies and some iPhones, and you can smash our shit together, right? I mean, it just was such a meteoric drop.
Yeah.
And again, we do something really good, and we're really, really laser focused on that, like the Model T, right? You know, Henry Ford was a little too laser focused on the Model T, and all of a sudden, here comes Cadillac, starts just beating him down. Bam, bam, bam. You know, Cadillac was called the standard of the world, and for 50 years, everybody copied that car. And to this day, it is still copied, right? A front engine V8, right? Rear wheel drive. That car is copied to every single truck in the world is copied off of that first Cadillac platform. And that's why they were called the standard of the world, right? Because they took Henry Ford's idea and they were like, man, this is just a Nokia with an analog screen. Let's go make some badass shit with it, right? They were forward thinking, right? And for a long time, nobody could catch up with them for about 30 or 40 years. And then, of course, Mercedes-Benz comes along and they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You want to talk about luxury, dog? We can smoke you. And, you know, then Mercedes was the standard of the world. But the idea is the vision exciting? Does it inspire you? Does it make people want to follow you? Right?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about, did I get 30 likes on my first Facebook post got 1 like, maybe 2, my mom, right?
Yeah.
My oldest daughter, they're like, hey, Dad, that was kind of cool. That was a good YouTube video, Dad, right? But is it inspiring, right? Is it informational? Can it help people to pull you forward? Is it going to make people want to follow you? And you guys have all been leaders, and to be a good leader, you must be a good follower, right? To lead, you must know how to serve. And you all know that, especially the veterans and the patriots who have been through some hard times with a company or hard times with a unit, right? The people who inspired you, it didn't matter how bad the wind was howling. It didn't matter how much shit was coming down on you. If you had a leader that inspired you, right? I don't care if you worked for the U.S. Post Office. I don't care if you worked for the U.S. Marine Corps. If you had a leader that inspired you, that was slogging it out as hard as you would do anything not to disappoint that leader.
Without question.
Right? You would do anything to rise to the right green line. Okay, Mike, go ahead.
You prompted some of my wheels started turning when you were talking about inspiration and vision and what have you. So we all start out on the path of business, of entrepreneurship, with the vision that I want to be successful. Our vision could be, I want to have X amount of dollars when I'm this age. I want to live in the X amount of place when I'm this age, right? That could be our vision. Or I want to grow this company and have over 100 sales members and blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
So where do you think inspiration comes from in order to continuously create a large enough vision to keep your team where you're at?
Can I answer that one right here? Because I think, for me, my vision came from, and just to put it candidly, shit I didn't want to do that I saw other people doing, right? Casey and I have talked about this in the past. Like, in my industry, I've literally only worked for 2 large AV companies after getting out of the Marine Corps before starting my business. I was able to take the good, bads, and indifference from the former employees, because not all of it was bad. I learned a shitload from the first company that I worked for. But my vision came from, hey, you know what? I saw this. That shit didn't work, right? Let me put this over here in the shit can because it's not going to work for me because I've already been through it, right? So to answer your question, where does vision come from? Simply put, I want to say it comes from experience.
No. What inspires your vision? So say you're in business 10 years.
Same concept. Right. That inspired my vision for my business to say, hey,
so 10 years ago, right? 10 years ago, our vision was XYZ. But today, my vision has to be renewed, and so I get inspiration from you guys.
Yeah.
Right. That's where my inspiration comes from. Whenever I get down and I'm wondering which way do I need to turn, I can go back and I can be inspired by the books that I've read, my children, just like Casey's got there, right? So when you're out there as a business owner and we're struggling on what is the next step that we need to take, we need to be able to pull back the curtain and go, where does my inspiration need to come from? Because we can talk all day about being innovative and having a great vision, but if we can't have something that's close to us to inspire us to keep creating new vision and forethought, then we're going to get stuck in a rut. So it's important as a business owner that we look for inspiration through each other.
So I'm still on the same answer to an extent. So my inspiration comes from lessons learned in my industry. We had talked today about when things go good, bad, or indifferent in any industry, it makes the whole industry look good or bad. So I get my inspiration from making sure that I'm representing my industry and I'm representing my brand to like 150%, no questions. There's no room for anything less than perfect in my business.
Gotcha. So it's just we just don't ever want to get bogged down when we're like, wow, we have this vision, but we also need that inspiration. We also need that innovation because in my opinion, my vision is fluid. My vision, yes, we have a core end result, but in order to get to that end result, my vision has to be big enough to be able to accept the things that don't work. We have to be able to accept the things that do work and be able to continue to trudge down the exact same path that we're on, because the vision itself is fluid, right?
I see Casey's wheels spinning down there.
Yeah, yeah. You got me thinking. You got me thinking.
Fired up over there.
So things you can draw inspiration from, that both of you have talked about, is your industry, right? Your clients, right? Your family, your core values, right? God, health, and wealth, service to others, service above self, whatever that may be. But, also your clients, man, like making a difference in somebody's life, right? Like, hey, I know you can't do this, that, or the other, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make that happen for you, right? I'm going to take a little less on this job so that you don't have to come out so hard. So you got more food on the table in the month of March because you just got your ass kicked in the month of February by ERCOT, right? Right. I mean, that's the kind of thing. You can let your clients inspire you. I had a client, a really great client that was from Wyoming, and
God's country.
She was a rancher's daughter. She grew up cutting horses and punching cows, and she really believed in that Wyoming mindset, that cowboy mindset, that code of the West, right? Live every day with courage, take pride in your work, always finish what you start, do what must be done, be tough but fair. When you make a promise, you better G-darn keep it. You better keep it. That was a big one with her.
Yeah.
Right? Ride for the brand. Ride for the brand. She made every employee put this sign up in her company offices, right?
I need that sign. I need that sign.
Right. Talk less, say more. Remember, things aren't always for sale. You can't buy integrity. You cannot buy your honor. You cannot buy discipline. These things must be given or they must be earned, right? And then the last one, know where to draw the line.
Dude,
right?
You need to share that. We need to put that on something, and we need to make that a Facebook post, because that shit is gold.
Yeah. I mean, that's and you know what? Those were her company core values, kind of like Doc's got his company.
That doesn't inspire you right there, dude. I don't know what does.
Yeah, like wake up, man. You better get a double shot of espresso.
Yeah.
See you at 3 a.m. on the bike.
The vision is what represents. I put it down here. What your company aspires to be, right? So when we're drilling down on it, what do you want to be? Where do you see yourself? What do you want your company to feel like, right? Because everybody that works for somebody never leaves a company. They leave the leadership. That's the bottom line to it. And anybody who's been in that situation knows it. I just did it. It's a reason I'm a damn business owner now. You know what I mean? So, man, dude, whatever that was you just spit out right there, I need to see that, because we're talking about now core values, which is the foundation of principles for what your vision is, right? Innovation is something totally different. Your vision is your core values. So let's talk about each of our core values and share our core values with everybody, because maybe someone needs to hear it tonight. Maybe someone is working on their core values now, even if they're year 3, 4, or 5. Those, they shouldn't really change once you establish them, kind of like magnetic and true north. But Doc, let's kick it off with what your core values are.
If you guys know me for any length of time, you guys pretty much know where my core values stand. And my core values stand with God, health, and wealth. Okay. And I'm going to add a fourth one to it, which is relationships. Okay. And so I'll break it down for you in a quick, 30-second synopsis. And when I mention the word God, a lot of people sometimes take a step back and go, oh my gosh, right? Somebody's talking about God. But in my opinion, God to me is a power bigger than myself. God to me is being able to let go of something that I can't control, so that the forces of nature can take their roles in life, right? And so when I love God, to me is my religious God, Jesus Christ. So that's where I'm at in my life. What God to Casey and Jeff and the people watching, it may be totally different, but what's important to remember is that you're able to give up your will so that the greater good for your people is being accomplished.
So power bigger than yourself.
That's it. That's what it boils down to me for, is what is bigger than me. Whatever the wind's blowing, the rain's happening, the Arctic blast that came through, that shit is Mother Nature. If you don't respect that, you're going to get your ass handed to you. And then my second core value is health. And health is not just me going to the doggone gym. Health is the books that I read. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm going to go. Health is the books that I read, the TVs that I watch, the food that I put in my body, the amount of energy that I put out. Am I sleeping in, or am I getting up and going? Right? Am I getting enough sleep? People don't really fully understand the importance of sleeping. That is when our bodies go into a state of rest to help us rejuvenate all of the energy that we put out the day before. That's when it gives our bodies the time to heal. I mean, it's huge to be able to get a good night's rest. And so then I boil down to wealth, and people say wealth. I'm like, yeah, wealth to me isn't defined by the amount of money that's in my bank account. Wealth is defined by the people that I keep, right? I'm wealthy in so many different aspects. And I'll give you a great point. The other day we celebrated my wife's birthday, and she was floored at the amount of people that showed up and said, hey, man, we appreciate you. We thank you for being a part of this team. You can't buy that shit. Like, real talk, you cannot buy 33 friends to come out there and hang with you. You know what I mean? And that is wealthy, right? The people that you keep around you, the knowledge that you get and the wisdom that you have is wealth, right? So we have to understand that just because you have a core value, let's dive a little bit deeper into what those meanings are. And if you have a problem with being able to define your core value, reach out to any of us and we'll walk you through it, and we'll break it down. And I love people sending me stuff because I blow bullet holes in it. I'm saying, oh, that's wrong, this is wrong, this is good, this is bad, this is indifferent. But if you don't get somebody that's willing to punch you in the jaw and tell you you're making a mistake, then that's not a wealthy relationship.
Yeah.
That's fragile. You're going to go bankrupt with those kind of friends that allow you to make mistake after mistake after a mistake. Or what's even worse, if they say, hey, man, don't worry about it. They'll never notice.
No.
Hey, man, don't even worry about it, man. They won't even see it.
Cut
You
that.
know what I mean? And you're like, whoa, what the fuck are we really doing here? You know what I mean? And when you start straying, because I promise you, folks, there is a force against us. There is the force of average that wants us to fail. There is the devil outside these doors doing fucking push-ups, hoping you fail so that you can make a mistake, so that your life can go into ruin, so that you can go back to the poor mindset that you had before you changed. So those are my three core values that I stick to, and they work well with inside my business. They work well with the friends that I keep, and they work well with my marriage and my family. So what about you, Jeff? What you got going on with some values?
And you guys have heard me talk about, you guys have known me a while, and I always use the saying, get in the boat or get out. You know what I mean? And sometimes I'm a little candid and a little frank with that, but that's how I roll, man. Like, if you're in, let's go. We're all going the same way, because the moment one piece of anything gets outside the boat, the navigation is completely skewed, right? So my mentor was like, well, what are your core values? I'm like, well, hell, I don't know, man. He's like, well, you always say this, bullshit about get in the boat or get out or whatever. So I'm like, that's a great idea. So mine are very simple. And I created these core values for holding myself accountable first and foremost. Be on time. This is the acronym of a boat. Be on time. You know what? If you're going to say you're going to be there, daggone, be on time. Operate with integrity. There's no room with myself, my family, my business, my friends, for me to deal with a lack of integrity. So be on time, operate with integrity, and always hold yourself accountable. To me, that means it's okay if I make a mistake. Do I want to repeat it? Absolutely not. But I better go ahead and man up and say, this is on me. I'm going to take one. And I'll give you an example. 4 weeks ago, we were supposed to do an RVBA live. I think our communication got crossed up. We all thought we were doing it together. Who gives a shit? That was on me. I'm going to hold myself accountable for that. So I'm being on time. I'm operating with integrity. I'm always holding myself accountable. And I'm taking pride in ownership, the acronym of BOAT. I'm going to take pride and ownership in every thing I do. I'm never going to half-ass it. I'm never going to cut corners, even if that costs me as a business owner a little bit of cheese. You know why? Because a few $100 extra to do it right can make you or break you in the community that you're in. So like Casey said, if you got to, drop that budget down a little bit for the client, I'm dealing with that right now. I'm dealing with it right now. I think I needed to hear what Casey said. I need to drop that budget down a little bit, because you know what? The end result is a happy client, and that is gold. You can't, like you said, Doc, you can't pay for that. So mine are: be on time, operate with integrity, always hold yourself accountable, and take pride in ownership. 4 simple principles, but to me, they mean everything.
Get on the boat.
That's it.
What you got, KC? How you looking, man? You probably got like 30 core values because you've been doing this a long time.
Well, not as long as you, Doc, but
the Bible came out.
First edition.
Yeah, no, it was just after the New Testament, guys. Thanks. Yeah. So I got some core values from back when the Catholic Church was founded. I'm gonna share those.
Going through my brain. I won't say it.
Hit it with us.
So, but I've had to change these over time, and I'm going to get to that. Okay, I'm going to get to that. Be inspiration. And look, these were not all motivated by me, right? These were I went and listened to. I was struggling with employees, being an employer. I'm a good news boss. I don't like being the bad news boss, and dealing with that. Those difficult conversations was hard for me, right? So I was listening to this guy, Brandon Dawson, and Brandon was saying, "Hey, look, man, if your core values are just kind of foggy and you don't want, just steal mine, man. Just take them from me." So I'm gonna give a shout out to Brandon, because I let his core values inspire me, and one of those is, man, be inspirational, be somebody that people want to emulate, right? It's like the Lego Batman. Can't be great, right? Emulate the great. Be inspirational, right? If you lead by example, people are going to want to emulate that greatness. They're going to go, man, I need to do that. And there are a few bosses I had that I didn't always jive with, but I'm gonna tell you what, they inspired me to work. So genuineness, right? Be genuine, be you. Don't, I'm working at blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to wear this red polo, and I'm going to shave my beard, and I'm going to, dye my hair so there's no gray in it. You don't be a conformist, be genuine, right? If you want to be Jeff Skinner with the Civil War beard, you know what I'm saying? It's fine. Hey, it's looking good, baby.
It looks beautiful, don't it?
It does, right? Also, you got to be service driven, right?
Yeah.
This has to be critical, right? That little paycheck to the heart. This is a lesson I learned from Al Parnell, one of my first employers when I started practicing law. Al said, every time you do something good for a client, even if you do it at a loss, that's okay, because you just wrote a little paycheck to your heart, and that's better than any bonus or paycheck you could ever get from the practice of law. And that always stuck with me. Like Al was usually a quiet guy. He was a trial lawyer, but he really just focused on work most of the time, and he rarely stopped to give these little nuggets of wisdom. But that was one that always stuck with me. Be disciplined. I'm not the most disciplined person I know, but man, I'm up there, right? And being disciplined, right? If you're disciplined, I started this off, right? If you're disciplined, you're eating right, you're sleeping right, you're writing your goals right. Why do I write my goals down before I go to bed? I just wrote them when I got up. Well, here's why.
Yeah,
here's why. Because when I go to sleep, I put my subconscious, right? I learned this from Napoleon Hill, just like Gary Vaynerchuk, Zig Ziglar, Grant Cardone, Brandon Dawson, Tony Robbins. You put your mind, you put your subconscious in tune with your goals right before you go to bed. You have a better chance of controlling what you're sleeping and thinking about. And when you wake up and you write your goals down again, you're putting your body in alignment, right? Discipline.
Yeah.
Be transparent. Results. Okay. And then one or two I've added since Corona, and I think it's critical to talk about them, right? Performance. I had results at the end of that list, but now it's first. Performance matters. Results matter. Those boxers, those WW champions, the Tom Brady with his 18 Super Bowl rings, whatever. Performance matters. Results matter, because that's ultimately what you sell to a client. And then another two that I've added in 2021: accountability for everything. Taking accountability for everything. Like, so today I had a team member, call me out. He's like, "Hey man, you're not doing bing boom bang." And I was like, whoa, hold on, motherfucker, I'm the boss.
That don't go far though.
I didn't say it like that. I was sitting there, and then I heard myself justifying my bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm so goddamn busy that I can't do blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, hey, what? You know what? Thank you for checking me. And it reminded me, Jeff, of a conversation we had not long ago about being focused, right? Just tuning out the noise, bringing in the laser focus, right? If you want to get to the Super Bowl, sometimes you've got to concentrate on the 10 yards in front of you. Sometimes you got to concentrate on that 4th and 1, right? And then worry about the next 10 yards. Instead of worrying about, oh my God, I got this Super Bowl going on, just get a goddamn first down. Excuse my language. I'm getting a little, but right. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you need somebody to check you so you stay focused. Sometimes you need your alliance. You need your coworker, Austin. You know who I'm talking to, Jeff. You know I'm talking to you, right? You need that. You need to be called out on your inattentiveness, your unfocusedness, so you can get back in alignment with your core values. And focus better be, by God, one of your core values.
Let me add something to that right there, because if you're receptive to criticism, because some people would call it that, or you're receptive to being checked by your buddies, by your people who you trust, guarantee it's going to grow. You said accountability was something you added in 2021, and I've seen it firsthand.
Hang on. I'm gonna add something. Be coachable.
There you go.
Be coachable, right? And I'm adding that right now. Core value number 7.
30. I told y'all 30. I wasn't wrong. We did it. I damn gone it. I knew it.
I know you gotta be coachable.
You do.
I want to touch on something right here. Our good friend Trace Johannesson, fellow Marine, city councilman, he's got a comment here. I'm going to throw it up on here because it's solid as hell. Are your core values aspirational, or do you live them in your actions? That is, man, that's solid right there, because there, we call it fluff. Is your business fluff? Do you have a bunch of bullshit going on that makes you look pretty on the outside, but really you're a train wreck on the inside? Because people see it. So, Trace, great comment here, man. And I'm going to leave it up here for a couple minutes because I think it's that good, because our core values have to represent things we're doing as business owners. They're not just there on paper so you can tell everybody else to do them, because the employees are going to see the bullshit rolling uphill at that point, right? So if your core values aren't something you're following on a daily basis, right, hey, it's okay. We all have shortcomings. We all make mistakes. Go back and seriously look at them. Take a look and really dive into them. If that means you got to take Friday off instead of golfing or shooting at the gun range or whatever, you need to focus on your core values. I promise you, until you have your core values defined, your business will never move forward like your vision sees it to move forward. I guarantee it.
Completely true. And here's what I'm going to say. Anybody who's watching, anybody who's listening, I want to share with you that great advice that Mr. Dawson gave me when I was listening to his deal about growing and scaling businesses. He's like, look, man, if you don't know what your core values are, steal mine. They were inspired. They were inspired by other great business leaders. They were inspired by Warren Buffett. They were inspired by Steve Jobs. They were inspired by others. So don't be afraid to use them, right? So if God, health, and wealth is going to get you to the promised land, right? Or maybe you want to add God, health, and wealth and be coachable, whatever it may be, man. Like we don't have a trademark on this, Jazz. We don't have a copyright. This is out there for y'all to be better, to make you better, to find that push, right? To let Jeff, to let Doc, and if I can contribute in some way, push, right? Make you find that next level within yourself that you know you have, and maybe you just haven't climbed that rung in the ladder yet. But take these core values, internalize them, figure out how to fit in your deal.
And whenever you do begin to develop core values, you want to and you adopt those core values from other industry leaders. You just, at the end of the day, you want to be honest with yourself. You know what I mean? Don't just adopt a core value because it's catchy, because it's trendy, because it's whatever. You know what I mean? Be true to your damn self. And I promise you, folks, I was the worst at being true to themselves. I was that guy that was the fluff on the outside and fucking hating my life on the inside. You know what I mean? Where I'd go to work, come home, and you could just see it in my face and my demeanor and in my attitude. It's because I didn't believe in the values that were given to me at a young age. I didn't respect what a core value was, right? I glossed over it. I said, I'll be coachable. Fuck that. Oh, be submissive. That's stupid. Yeah. Oh, read a book. You got me messed up. You know what I mean? What? Read a book? You know what I mean? So all these things, right? Hold myself accountable? Fuck that. It's your fault.
Right, right.
Fault. You know what I mean? Yeah. You begin to develop a habit of integrity with yourself. You will see so many more doors open. You will be able to sleep better at night, because you won't have all this internal subconscious chaos running through your brain going, did I make the right choice? Did I do this? What lie do I have to keep up with? You know what I mean?
That's spot on, dude, because here's something that I'm going through right now. Got a little issue, and I guarantee you that issue is a resentment to someone else more than it is to me, because the fault is in that arena, not in mine. So I love what you're saying right there. If you keep your mind clear, you understand your core values and you follow them, not magnetic north, but true north, because we have to follow them every single time, every damn day of the week. You're going to have trials and tribulations. That's life. We call it structured chaos over here in this alliance, but you're going to sleep good. You're going to have a team around you that supports you. And even more so, you're going to have a team around you that's going to check your ass if you're slipping. That's another one. If you don't have a mentor, you don't have somebody that's going to call you on your bullshit, go get one tomorrow. And if you need one of us to do it, call us, email us. We'll be happy to do so. Man, this is a great conversation, boy. This is solid stuff right here, man.
This is what it's all about.
When you start sharing, when we start sharing something that we're passionate about, we don't need a script to keep us on track.
No.
We already know what allows us to be great, because that's the beauty of the experience that you have right here within the three of us and the people that are watching. You know what I mean? Because what we're talking about, we're passionate about. What we're talking about, we believe in. And so that's why you hear us in our tone, and we become animated, and you see the hand movements and the gestures, and you see us just get amped up and pumped up, because at the end of the day, we know what the fuck we're talking about. And promise you guys, we're not telling y'all to do shit. These are all suggestions.
Yeah.
Okay. I learned a long time ago that I will never, ever tell anybody how to do anything. But if you're willing to listen to a suggestion, your employees and coworkers and teammates, and if you suggest to them how to become better, they're going to be more receptive, versus drilling at them as a drill sergeant, or telling them what to do, and then saying when they fail, you call them dumb or incompetent or ignorant, right? When you belittle your people, they will have zero respect for you.
You lose everything at that point. You lose it all.
It's just crazy. So what we're doing here is just sharing our passion and our little bit of knowledge of all the mistakes and failures that we've made, and what we've done to create something even better for ourselves. because if I'm speaking this shit out loud, I'm speaking it into existence. Now everybody on this thread is going to hold us accountable for the words that come out of our mouths. So we better be true north on what we're putting out here.
Absolutely.
Right.
Man, I think we're about 10 minutes shy of the hour. I feel like, man, we every week we say this, but I feel like we just get running the gun and right about that 40-minute mark. But I think we have, I think we can push the innovation to next week, because the core values are so important to your vision that I think that this conversation went exactly where it needed to be. And to carry on with what Doc was saying, we don't know it all. We don't. You know what I mean? We know what we've done. That's what worked for us. And if you're receptive to it, the email's there. I'm going to leave the email up. You guys shoot us an email. If you don't have core values, email us. Let us help you out. We'll share ours with you. We'll send them over. I mean, like Casey said, they're not patented. That shit ain't trademarkable. If you need them, use ours. And if you want all three of them, then combine them and make them what you are. But reach out and ask for help. That's why we do this, and we've been doing this. Actually, guys, this month, a fucking year, we've been doing lives every single week because we love this shit.
Consistency. That was one of our great core values, is just be consistent. No matter what, hook, jab, virus, frostbite, no matter what was thrown at us, we fucking said, nope, we're going to show up. I promise you, we have a text thread where there's some Wednesday nights we're like, hey, guys, what do y'all want to do? And we're like, oh, fuck, what do we want to do? And we said, nope, we're doing it. You know what I'm saying?
That hashtag fact.
Yeah.
We know that it's important. And it's more important for me. Y'all may not even know this shit, that I get more value out of coming on for 1 hour and jaw jacking with you knuckleheads, because now tomorrow I'm fucking inspired to finish this week stronger than ever, because we I don't even know the word. I'm so pumped up.
Accountability. Right. It's accountability.
You know what I'm thinking? I was just had accountability. I just was told what we are. We just redefined our core values, and I just got chills down me, because I'm like, fuck yeah. Tomorrow I'm waking up at 4:30 just because I'm gonna knock on doggone Casey's door because he challenged me. Be ready. Tell your wife.
I'll be ready.
Hey, well, here's the deal. Y'all go ahead and get up at 0:30. Text me about 6:15, and I'll wake up then, and I'll check on y'all. Make sure you did your squats. How's that sound?
Yeah, we'll need a water and a Motrin at that point.
Oh man, I tell you what, fellas, I'm any save rounds from you guys? Casey, we kind of left you out there. Doc and I got a little crazy, so
yeah. So I've been saving this one for this week. So last weekend was my business's 7th birthday.
Fuck yeah, man.
Cheers to 7 years. Here's some hustle juice. So here's the deal. Most single member LLCs, which is 25 to 40% of American small businesses, do not make it in 5 years. They don't last. Of the ones that make it past 5, they don't make it to 7. And of that portion, not many make it to 10. Doc's already at 10.
This month.
Here's something critical. Way to go, Doc. But here's something critical, right? You've got to stop being the technician, and you got to start being the tactician to make it work. You must multiply yourself to get past, in my opinion, to get past the 5-year mark. And statistics, whatever you want to call it, statistics don't lie, liars statistic, whatever that saying is, I can't even remember, doesn't matter. But multiply yourself, add to your team. It doesn't matter if you're the best technician in the world. You must replicate yourself to grow and scale your business. Figure out what you do good, right? Figure out what you do good. What are your core values? Replicate them, and then scale them with the right people, right? Yeah. And other things, takeaways from cheers to 7 years, right? Hard lessons from Corona. The Army and the U.S. military plan for failure. You must plan. Your business plan has to include unanticipated failures.
Yep, contingency plan.
You are going to lose talented people. The Army spends more money on recruiting than Amazon on friggin' TV. Amazon spends $1 billion, $2 billion a year on ads. Why? Because we all buy our shit from them, but they do it anyway. And the Army spends more money than Amazon on recruiting. Why? Because they know, right, that you've got to have your next draft pick in the queue because somebody's gonna rotate out, somebody's gonna retire, somebody's gonna medical out, somebody's gonna think the grass is greener on the other side, and they're gonna stop watering the grass where they are and go water the grass somewhere else, right? And if LeBron James wants to win a championship for the Miami Heat or the Los Angeles Lakers, you have got to have a plan for that contingency. So plan for hiccups, plan for failures, be forward thinking. Don't think that you can just outwork every son of a – you can't outwork everybody and out-inspire everybody and keep the team you have together, because sooner or later people are going to go, hey, man, I could go water the grass over there maybe. Or maybe they're just going to get inspired to go, man, Jeff is so inspirational. I love working here, but I want to go do my own thing. I want to be Jeff. I want to be Doc. I'm going to go do that. Right. So you've got to be forward thinking. You've got to be planning for those checkbacks. Hey, how are we doing? Right. What are we on course? Are we on true north? Are we on magnetic north? You got to have your checkbacks, and you got to constantly be recruiting for those contingencies. So be forward thinking, because that's going to happen. So
I love it. A big shout out to my man Gilbert. He didn't have
Gilbert.
He did ride along with me. This cat right here calls me up, Mike. I'm working for a company that isn't treating me right. Can you give me some guidance? I said, show up, hop in my truck, I'll take you around. And I encouraged, and I said, look, I don't want you to work for me. I want you to work with me. And when you're done working with me, I want you to start your own thing, and I want you to fucking kill it. And I'll take you there. You know what I mean? Because that's what it's about.
Yeah.
That is what it's about. That little comment that he made, like, is everything that I wanted to do and show people that it's okay to give out tough love and guidance to people. And who gives a shit if they decide to go out and start their own thing after they taught them everything? That's the beauty of capitalism. That's the beauty of freedom. And if you're going to get sad because you taught somebody your trade and your skill sets and your thought process, then you did it for the wrong reason. You know what I'm saying? So you either encourage and expect the greatness the great people to walk, because that's what great people do. Yeah. That's what legends do. They become fucking legendary and they create their own thing. But I promise you what, if you set somebody on the right path to success, they will always be in your inner circle helping others grow. So keep it up, Gil.
It's all mindset, man. And you know what? I was expecting a good conversation tonight, but this is by far my favorite one of 2021. And I tell you what, fellas and ladies who watch this, share this, and do all this, just buckle up, because 2021, we've been thinking about it since last October. We got big plans, and you know what those plans include? Helping you be better. That's the bottom line. That's our mission statement in a nutshell. But we're here every week with the emails scrolling at the bottom. It's been scrolling. You want to join up. And we're not talking about membership fees and all that stuff. We invite everybody. Come in. Be involved with our alliance, because I guarantee you new people can teach us something too. So we're just as receptive to the accountability, the criticism. You think our videos suck? Holler at us in our email, let us know, and then come bring your ass on here and show us how to do it, right?
Yeah,
so
that's it. If you think we suck, you better tell me how to fix it, because that's all we need. Just steer me in the right direction.
But on a serious note, this motivates me to get up tomorrow morning, not at 4:30, but about 6:15, and hit the ground running. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you guys. I mean, we only do this because you guys are involved, and it makes it that much more better to join every week and be, a part of the alliance with you guys. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Trace, we got Gilbert that joined in right here. My man, Big Will Epton, Mark, Billy Alt. You still owe me a phone call if you're still watching this. But anyways,
Hey, thanks, guys.
Get Billy on the show, folks. Like I'm letting you guys know now, Billy's coming on.
Yeah, I just messaged them the same thing. So hey, y'all be good. Have a good one. Because tomorrow's $10,000 Thursday, and if you ain't
10,000.
enjoy your